In this episode, I go over my VHT Fatbottom 412 cabinet. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Torres, and funny enough, I'm making my move, and I'm gonna end up having a new studio and laid out completely differently. So I had to move a few things out and organize a bunch of things. So I'm down to almost like a skeleton crew of amps. So to my right, you can't see it, but I have my Cherrytone Yeti 50 watt, my Mesa triple rectifier, and my Bogner Uberschall Rev Blue. So for the most part, I decided to keep two cabinets. One is my Marshall 212, which is a 1936 cabinet with V30s. Then, as I'm moving all of my things into storage, I end up leaving my VHT Fatbottom 412 in the basement. So here I am pulling it out, and I was just exhausted. I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna move it tomorrow. And kind of mentioned online that I really didn't like the VHT Fatbottom because it has, what are they? The P50Es, which are, I guess, VHT voiced speakers by Eminence. So for some reason, I just didn't like them. I think I was just so used to the V30s, which is a great speaker. But, when you're just fixated on V30s, you quickly realize that other cabinets just don't sound the same, and they're just not as bassy. And you kind of get used to that tone. So a bunch of guys were just like, bro, are you crazy that you have a VHT Fatbottom 412 and you don't use it? And I'm like, that is correct. So needless to say, I had it out and I was just like, well, you know what? Let me just go ahead and see what if I were to go ahead and change a few things. So one thing that I did is a few weeks ago, I ended up buying a 2-notes captor. And if you've been watching me for a while, then you know that I had one and hated it. I just never used it. And for the most part, used it as an attenuator, but it's so much more. And it isn't until this time around that I realized how incredible the 2-notes captor really is. So at the time when I had the VHT, when I first got it, I didn't have an attenuator, so, the tone was completely different. But when you use an attenuator, in this case, the 2-notes captor, you are starting off negative 20 dB, so you can crank the tubes a bit more. And that's what I just did, and it sounds completely different, completely brutal, and I'm glad that everyone kind of questioned my craziness. Because it really is what prompted me to be like, you know what? I respect a bunch of these guys that literally just told me that they think I'm crazy. And I was just like, you know what? They clearly know about tone. So let me, plug the VHT back in and hear how it sounds like. So I kind of feel like it sounds infinitely better when you're able to crank the amp a bit more. And the real way to do that is by using an attenuator, and some just vary, from negative 5 dB, negative 20, negative 40. So this one's negative 20, and it's just an absolute monster. So the pedals that I'm using in this video, my noise gate is the Fortin Zool. The buffer is my buff out pedal, which is made by Pepper's Pedals in New Zealand, same company that makes the my favorite pedal. Where is it? I have it over here on the side. The Dirty Tree. And I'm literally just using my Seymour Duncan 805 because it has the 3-band EQ, so I can adjust it. At some point, I'll run it with my KSR Eros. I'll use my Dirty Tree. I'll use a few other pedals that I have, the SD1. I'll use the Lichtbringer. And, you know, just to kind of hear how it all sounds. So you guys let me know what this VHT cabinet sounds like. The mic that I'm using, I kind of took everything apart. So although I have my other mics running around, I decided to just use that. This is what? Hold on. Oh, that's right. I'm using my Audio-Technica, what? Yeah, Audio-Technica AT2020. So I'm using my ESP M2 Custom with the Nazgul in the bridge, and hopefully it comes across and you guys can hear what that sounds like. Okay, so I'm hoping, and I kind of did some testing back and forth just to hear what it sounds like, and I hope it comes across, where you can hear it almost has like a little raspiness, and I know that that's the P50E speakers because none of my other speakers sound like that, and I'm kind of cuckoo with speakers. I love my V30s, I love my G75Ts, but that's kind of really it, as far as having varying speakers. My Randall 412 has Celestion 7080s, which they're okay, but it's kind of a cheap cabinet, the sound's amazing from the 7080s, but, for that snarl, that low-end monster brutal tone, I feel that it comes out with the V30s, but these P50Es sound a lot better than I remember. But again, I attribute that to the fact that I can crank my Cherrytone Yeti a little more than normal. I'll run my Bogner Uberschall in a little bit just to hear how that sounds. But yeah, I'm actually surprised. And funny thing is that someone locally I have the top slant VHT Fatbottom. Someone in my area is selling a VHT 412 unloaded straight bottom cabinet, and I just think the guy just wants too much for it. So I don't know, what I guess I can throw. I have you guys remember that Mesa that I bought for $150 that had brand new Celestion UK V30s. So I guess I can probably, do an X pattern on the top cabinet between the P50s and the Celestion. So it's 2 and 2, and then do the same cross or X layout with the bottom. So we'll see. I'll see if I can reach out to the guy. But guys, hey, listen, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the absolute best. Hey, if you love Truck Driver Shawn as much as I do, you're going to click on the description below, go right to Shawn Davis's YouTube channel, and you are going to hit the subscribe button because he just got to 3,000, and I need to make sure that he gets way over 3,000 so there isn't this teeter-totter between 29.9 and 3,000, you know, which is kind of where it's been. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and if you watch any of the pop-up commercials that come up, hit the visit advertiser so I can make 35 cents. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for being awesome, and as usual, I will talk to you guys soon.